my channel. My name is Becca and today's video is a makeup video, but this is a products I bought but kind of wish I hadn't. This is basically just overhyped products that were super hyped up on social media that I bought into, and after using them I've realized that I really didn't need them. Now I don't want to sound like super hypocritical because I still use almost all of these products. I honestly like and enjoy a lot of these products. It's just that I've realized after purchasing them and using them that one, a lot of them have much cheaper dupes, or I already had the colors in my collection, or they were just very overpriced, and I know that if I didn't spend the money on them, I wouldn't be like sad about it. Like if I could go back, I wouldn't have bought them. However, since I own them, I'm probably still gonna use them. That being said, I have 4 eyeshadow palettes, a face palette, a powder, a foundation, and a concealer. So we're gonna try to go as quickly as we can, but I'm just gonna share with you guys some overhyped products that honestly, I really didn't need in my collection, and if I could go back, I probably wouldn't have bought them. The first item here is insanely hyped up because this is from a social media brand, and that is from Morphe. Now I do like Morphe, I do like some Morphe products, I think that they're a decent brand. However, this is the 35O palette. This is the original one that was insanely hyped up on social media for a very long time. We had people like Jaclyn Hill saying it was like their holy grail palette in the entire world. And I bought it, and I do use it in the fall. I do like it. I don't have like an issue with it, like I don't like it. However, if you look at this palette, almost every shade is the exact same except for like this row of orangey red colors. I've just realized very quickly that I could buy literally like the only shades I use in this palette are pretty much these orange shades right on this very end row, and I could have bought these from ColourPop or even another drugstore brand, and I could have spent a lot less money. This isn't a super expensive palette, but if I never had bought it, I still would have all of these colors in my collection. They're not original colors at all. So that being said, honestly, this is a super hyped up palette that I bought into, and if I didn't buy it, I wouldn't be sad about it. After that is another palette that got very hyped up, however, it didn't get the best reviews to be honest, and that is the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. Now I bought this because I have always owned the Naked palettes. They were some of my first palettes I've ever owned in my life, and they hold a special place in my heart for sure. And this one is beautiful if you can see it. It's an incredible palette with beautiful shades, but one, I have all of these shades in other palettes to start with. I have these orangey shades. I own them already. So I already knew I didn't need it when I bought it, but I just had to because it was a Naked palette. And then if you see these beautiful shimmer shades, I will swatch a couple right here. They swatch decently, but if we're being completely honest, they don't have good color payoff on the lids. They truly don't. If you could see the swatches, they really weren't anything incredible. The only one I do think that is pretty nice is Scorched, but again, none of these shimmers pay off on my eyelids well at all, even when I wet them. And then the matte shades all kind of blend to the same colors on my lids as well. So even though I do like the palette and I will continue to use it in the fall and stuff like that, I'm only using it because I bought it. I honestly don't need it at all, and I do wish I hadn't bought it. After that, I did want to share a palette that I actually returned, and I am not a person who returns makeup, hence why I have products to even show you guys, but this is one that I actually returned, and that is the Anastasia Subculture palette. Obviously that one got very hyped up. It got some horrible reviews, and that was a palette that obviously I regretted buying because I actually returned it. Now I didn't hate the palette, it wasn't the worst in the entire world, but for the price, I just found that even though the shades were incredibly beautiful, they didn't blend together into anything but like muddy colors, and I just wish that they had blended into a beautiful gradient rather than just getting very muddy, because they had incredibly beautiful shades in that palette. I'll put a picture up. And I really wish it had worked for me, but I actually regretted buying that one so much that I actually returned it. And I don't return products, like, ever. After that, we have this palette from Kylie Cosmetics. This is the Burgundy palette. It is one of only 2 palettes I've owned from her. I also owned the Royal Peach palette, but I actually gave it away, so that could be included even. But this is the Burgundy palette right here, and honestly, the reason why I regret buying this is because this is such a dupe to the Modern Renaissance palette, with less shades, but still like the same price. The Modern Renaissance is like my holy grail palette. It's my favorite palette literally like in the world. I think it's beautiful, and this palette literally just dupes that one. It's literally a copy of it for the same price, but much less shades. And you could also get the Wet n Wild version, which is like $5. And honestly, I think that that version has better color payoff than this one. I did not find this palette to have incredible pigment, to be honest. And the shimmer shades, honestly, I touched one time and have never used since because I'm not impressed. My last eyeshadow palette to share, I'm sad about because I love this brand, and that is the Natural Love palette from Too Faced. Now, this is what it looks like inside, and it is pretty, and it's hard for me to say that I hate it because I love neutral palettes a lot. But that being said, I already own neutral palettes, and I got this palette, and honestly, as much as I do use it sometimes, it doesn't have very good pigment. It's odd because I know it's supposed to be a very natural palette, but it's like natural to the extent that I feel like there's nothing on my lids when I use it. So that being said, this was a very expensive palette. I think it was like $50 or $60. And honestly, I don't think anyone really needed to waste their money on it unless you do not own a single neutral palette. If you have any neutral palettes, you honestly did not need this. The next product I have is a foundation. This is the only overhyped foundation I have to share, and that is the Born This Way foundation from Too Faced, paired with the original Born This Way concealer from Too Faced. These were super, super hyped up when they came out. I love the new concealer, for the record. But I bought these, and honestly, I have tried to make this foundation work so much. There's literally only like a third of it left, and every time I've worn it, it doesn't work for my skin. I do have oily skin, and I don't know if that's why, but it just never worked for my skin, never looked good on me. And same with this concealer. I think it's because this is a very hydrating concealer, in my opinion. It never covered anything up for me. It never gave me coverage. It never did anything great for me. So I literally use it as an eye primer. And this is probably the most overhyped product in the entire world, and this is the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. If you have ever watched a beauty video, you have seen this powder. It is so overhyped, and it has been for years, which is why I bought it. This powder, every time I use it, I'm still oily like an hour later. It doesn't like set anything any better than a lot of cheap powders I've owned. I've owned setting powders from Kat Von D, from NYX, from Maybelline, from the Airspun one that's from Walmart, and literally I don't think that the Laura Mercier one is better than any of those. The Airspun powder is $5, and I think it is 10 times better than the Laura Mercier powder. If you have oily skin, let me know if you think the same, but that powder just never worked for my skin. I try to use it over and over and over, and I just find that every single time I try to use it, it does nothing for me. All right, y'all, those are all the products I have to share that are overhyped products that I bought into and honestly kind of wish I hadn't. If you ever bought a super overhyped product from social media and you totally didn't love it and it didn't live up to the hype, let me know what product down below, because I totally enjoy knowing what people do and don't like, especially with these overhyped products that don't always live up to the hype from social media or from very big beauty gurus and stuff like that. But anyways, if you enjoyed, please give it a like and comment down below, and also subscribe so you don't miss another video. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, sometimes more than that, so you never know. Please subscribe so you don't miss another one, and I will see you guys in my next video.